This is a shrimp. It has extremely strong abdominal muscles. You can escape an attack by quickly shrinking back. However, this lump of meat, this actually makes it exceptionally convenient for predators to eat. So one type of shrimp learned its lesson after suffering the consequences. Distribute the meat throughout the body. And that's how the crab appeared. As the saying goes, shrimp soldiers and crab generals. Why are shrimp soldiers? The crab is a general, isn't it? First, the crab's armor. They are usually much thicker than shrimp of the same size. The exoskeleton also has a higher calcium carbonate content. The originally fragile abdomen was shrunk to a very small size. And like a flip phone, blanket compression technology. Fold it under the belly for protection. The projected area is greatly reduced. There are naturally fewer weaknesses. If most shrimp, seen as a secret weapon for clearing nail polish in the sea. And what about crabs? They are all divine beast warriors. Crabs have 8 pairs of inadequate locomotion mechanisms, while ensuring basic mobility. It also possesses all-terrain combat capabilities. Look, this crab has even hidden inside a tree hole, possessing anti-agitation like that of someone suffering from a stroke. Besides, crab, they focus their offensive power on their pair on the pliers. With a simple gesture, it becomes like a mobile fortress. This almost perfect body, it gives him powerful adaptability. This made him not only found in rivers and lakes, ocean greed, even in the broken telephone pole. I've seen one that has been imprisoned for a long time. Crabs that haven't died even after not eating for who knows how long. This is a camouflage crab. Among the many edible crabs, the most familiar one to us is the shell of the blue crab. That is swimming crab. The name swimming crab, from his shuttle-like hexagon, chest and back sandwiched between the left and right. A sharp spike extends from each end of the body. The pliers were also big and long, extremely sharp, suitable for attacking lightly armored and agile targets such as small fish. The most interesting one is, it was his last pair of beads that turned into a flat certificate. Crab kneels and 2 are spared. It likely refers to swimming crabs. We're looking at swimming crabs. It is actually not a symmetrical shuttle shape. The lower half of the shuttle retracts inward. This is to make room for the rear-wheel drive, responsible for manipulating the feet in the thyroid gland. It is very strong muscle. It gave him swimming ability comparable to that of a fish. Manipulate. This muscle is made of crab bone. It also became a swimming crab, one of the most stable cuts of meat production. In swimming crabs, the most consumed type is the oil-coated blue crab. Not only does it taste delicious, and the price is very affordable. However, in mainland China, it still costs more than 80 yuan per kilogram. It's really a bit expensive. Its colors are very varied, bluish-gray and white. There are reddish-brown and purple ones as well. So, you can't distinguish between these 3 types of oil shrinkage just by their color. But biologists, let's summarize its biggest identifying feature. That's on the carapace of the fish tail in the new area. 3 bald spots arranged in a quality-type pattern. The one with 3 fat deposits is the mountain oil swimming crab. Where are the mountain oil crabs we bought? An unexpected discovery. One of them had a belly that was neither wide nor narrow. Under normal circumstances, crabs are very easy to distinguish between male and female. Male crabs have narrow bellies. The female crab's belly is wide and round, but this one only has blue crabs, because its sexual characteristics haven't fully developed yet. We couldn't tell at first, but thankfully, after we opened its belly, discover its signature bursting egg beads. These bamboo. Actually, it's like the swimming group that peels water from the shrimp's belly. They are of the same origin. The female retains 4 pairs for egg bursting. After the eggs hatch, the magnet will raise its hands and shake its abdomen continuously. Shake the little crabs into the water. Let's break this male apart and take a look. Only 2 pairs left. Among them, these 2 thin and long. It's the hemipenis of a bear crab. During mating, use these two slender semicircular diameters. Gold is delivered into the female's body. This makes him a teacher of nature. Animals that mate face-to-face are not common. Therefore, many crabs mate face-to-face. In this is the first time Eve ever seen animals mating face-to-face. We also bought a delicious oily crab, also known as American crab. This is a type of blue crab that lives in the Atlantic Ocean. Look at this crab I bought. It's so big and strong. It's obvious. His legs and chin were both a beautiful blue, hence the name. Even one of them, AO, planned the armor-shattering organization. It seems like they usually eat quite a lot together. What's most interesting is its genitals. It's so long. Among common swimming crabs, I think the most beautiful is still the swimming crab from Yuanyang. Its shell is covered with beautiful white patterns, also known as orchid crab. We eat the crabs and then throw them away. But actually, the discarded shells have a great use. Chitin can be extracted from crab shells. Surprisingly, glucosamine hydrochloride was extracted, widely used for the treatment and prevention of osteoarthritis. It can promote the synthesis of cartilage components. Speaking of which, the treasures that can be tapped in the marine biological market. Quite a few. For example, collagen peptides in fish skin. And what about the fish's fat content? My goodness, the third-class OMG warehouse is turning itself over. It has been widely used in clinical medicine abroad, especially in houses with cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. If the blue crab is the most famous sea crab, the mitten crab is the most common type of freshwater crab. On their front-facing headgear, there are 6 stacked protrusions. The official Chinese name for hairy crab. It is called Chinese hairy crab. The source is very simple. The pliers have fuzz on them. It is said that this is a characteristic of both sexes. However, the air temperature of the male and female turtles is indeed not very high. As for the name hairy crab everywhere, some say it originated from the bamboo used by fishermen to catch crabs. Crabs caught using sluice gates are called sluice crabs. Another theory is that the gate originated from the gate. It means to steam or boil with water. Chinese king crab as a type of crab in a broad sense. Northern crab. Therefore, it was only natural that this name was shut down. Out of the lake. The need to shift positions between rivers. The crawling speed of Chinese mitten crabs on land. It is significantly faster than other crabs. If you push it too far, it might even climb a wall. Because the land transportation distance for hairy crabs is short, the aquatic environment in which they live is easy to simulate. So their condition is not bad. They might even lie on the sand to rest for a while. Crabs that can survive in the tank for at least a day. We finally have time to quietly observe him. I also unexpectedly drew and shrank Aji, white mutant hairy crab. Originally, I wanted to use it as a mascot. Unfortunately, he died mysteriously the next day. But the mitten crabs that live in freshwater. It is actually a species with a square-shaped shell. These particles are actually mostly from sea crabs, hairy crabs. It's not actually a purely freshwater species. Adult mitten crabs do indeed live in water. But when the season of cravings and laziness arrives, they will then swim back to the estuaries of rivers with tides to reproduce. The male mitten crab's reproductive line, also known as crab roe. It is the most delicious part of the hairy crab. It's still June. Chinese mitten crabs can only reproduce in September. So it's not the perfect season yet. Actually, besides hairy crabs. Crabs that can be mass-produced in supermarkets across the country. Most of them are sea crabs. For example, the cooked blue crab that I really like. They have extremely high armor, strong and powerful body, extremely powerful combat strength. If it weren't for seeing the last pair of clans, it's hard to believe he's also a blue crab. The blue color of this huge customer. It often appears around the peridot. It's a giant blue crab. I bought this orange one. However, the orange color has the same hue as the green. So this is a green crab. They love living in the tropics. This is likely an import from Southeast Asia. Therefore, I am more accustomed to indoor temperature. In addition, the water quality may not be good due to carbon. He actually survived in my tank for more than 2 days. Not dead yet. Unfortunately, he struggled too fiercely while bound. He actually broke one of his pliers. Then, he cut himself off. This self-cutting, it's not about twisting one arm with the other. Instead, the meridians automatically detach. This can prevent wound infection. Let's zoom in and look at its cross-section. It's really very neat. There seems to be a crack on this cross-section. What about this seam? Its function is that it is both easy and difficult to disassemble. Actually, this is the crab's water inlet. What do we find when we open a crab shell? He has feather-like things on both sides of his body. This is how crabs retain water. Passing through the inlet plug, crabs can obtain oxygen. As for the water outlet, right near their mouths, some crabs, it can even squirt water out of its mouth. Hey, it's them breathing. Although this blue crab was missing a claw, but as long as it sheds its shell a few times, he will then grow new pincers. When crabs and other creatures that move and burrow have just finished molting, it usually takes anywhere from a few hours to several days. Only then can it harden again. Before that, their shells. They will all maintain a soft and bouncy texture. Soft-shell crab. I bought these soft-shell crabs. It just so happens that it's a great way to lightly process soft-shell crabs. It's actually very easy. All you need to do is lift their soft outer shell. After removing the cheeks, simply cut off the head and tail. The whole process is like processing chicken. Extremely stress-relieving. Coat the soft-shell crabs with flour and fry them. The soft-shell crab afterwards had a crispy texture. The meat inside has an extremely strong aroma, but it didn't have the fishy smell of ordinary seafood. It tastes very unique, very delicious. I saw this in the middle of the night. I kept recalling the past. Various seafood dishes I ate in Zhoushan. The aroma and sweetness burst forth in the mouth. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Zhoushan is, after all, China's largest fishing ground. Abundant seafood resources. Many of them have seafood processing enterprises. In this episode, our battle strategist, Heilisheng, Nike has already reached the point where it is live. Successfully produced aquatic products, reinforced into various health products and medicines. More than just the initial taste. Low-grade metronidazole from crab shells. They are also professionals in feather oil extraction. Heilisheng is truly. It's a 70-year-old domestic product. It has a 200 square meter RD and testing center. After all, I'm getting older now. Work pressure has also increased. These are also some necessary health supplements. Fish oil is one of them. A paper published in the journal Chinese Oils and Fats in 2020 clearly pointed out the life-saving mountain has the effect of lowering blood lipids. Blood lipid problems are quite serious worldwide and quite common. Just in China, on average, every 10 people. For people had problems with their blood lipids. I really can't ignore this. There will definitely be people arguing with me. If it's only useful, why not make it into medicine? But actually, it has been widely used in cowboy medicine. It's just that the site is called Duoxyjuan Ruins. It's actually the same thing as high-purity fish oil. Of course, I was very careful when choosing fish oil. After comparing many brands, only then did I feel reassured enough to choose highly fish oil. Fish oil should be high purity. High-purity fish oil is easier for the human body to absorb. It can achieve the effect of lowering blood lipids faster and better. Here it is. Let's do a simple experiment. Omega-3 is an unsaturated fatty acid. It will only solidify at 40 degrees Celsius. Heilisheng's fish oil. Other levels of fish oil. Put them together in the freezer. It can be clearly seen. After freezing, the low-purity fish oil from other water surfaces turned into? Is it granular or flowing like water? It is evident that fish oil from the sea has a higher purity. Even if you look at this particle with the naked eye, you can also clearly see the fish oil from the sea. Its clarity is mainly due to its higher purity. The particle size is also suitable, convenient to swallow. There won't be any issues with using that kind of throat-straining device. As usual, I'll post the discounted price I managed to get in the comment section. People usually experience a lot of work pressure, privacy irregularities, worried about handwriting. It's definitely worth considering buying and trying it out. Overall, the swimming crabs we usually buy, it's not very big. If you want to eat all kinds of crabs, then you must try the regular Huangdao crab. Common zodiac crab is also called edible zodiac crab. Bread crab, look at its name, it's all about food. They live on the North Atlantic coast near Europe. Not only the most authentic edible crab in Northwest Europe, it is also the default crab. Its round and chubby shape, it really does look like a big loaf of bread. Thick back. Protect your 10 legs. Their front end. There are 9 neatly arranged side circular magnets on each side. Then look at the tips of his pliers, they're black. Remember these 2 points. That way you can tell whether it's a common zodiac crab or not. His pliers were very thick. This is to crush the hard shells of various shellfish, because he looks simple and cute. I originally intended to use him as a mascot, but although he is a diving species, but the seas in Northern Europe are still too cold. They will die if the temperature exceeds 20 degrees Celsius. So, he was almost exhausted after only staying for a little over an hour. Let's take a look at his abdomen while it's still hot. It's obvious. It is a female crab. Our section of the aquatic production line. The male crab is often called a prince crab. It feels like I have a lot of older sisters in my family. This female crab has 2 holes in its thorax. This is its genital opening where it lays its eggs. The cat crab is not only large, the amount of meat is also very generous. The main problem is that the price hasn't decreased yet. Crab is expensive. All things considered, the price-performance ratio is indeed very high. And the next type of crab. It is an important representative of precious seafood. It is a blood crab belonging to the family Proboscidea, also called pine-eye crab. Blood crabs commonly come in 2 body sizes. Can you find larger red rock blood crabs? And the slightly smaller grayed blood crab, distinguishing between these 2 types of blood crabs solely by their red and gray eyes. It's not necessarily accurate. If the bone plates above their mouths, it's as flat as teeth. It's gray eye bloodstains. If it's a widow's peak, then it's a reddish-brown discoloration. I bought this one, the one with gray eyes and bloodshot eyes. Average weight of males. It weighs approximately 1 kilogram, but 8 long legs. This made his teeth extremely large, so much so that it cannot be packed into a coarse oxygen bag. I had to put it in a huge treasure chest to get it back, due to blood loss. They are generally distributed in relatively cold seawater. For example, Alaska and Antarctica. Their metabolism speeds up when the water temperature exceeds 5 degrees Celsius. It's very uncomfortable, so he couldn't go on for long indoors. Lift his carapace. Besides what we can see in the middle of the body, what else is there? There is a pentagonal region. It looks like the place where Transformers put out their fire. His role was indeed comparable to that of a spark. He is the crab's heart. It was still stubbornly beating slightly. Looking closer at his mouth is his stomach. This part is not edible. Open his stomach. You will find his stomach. There are things that look like teeth. The symbol of the triadic forces. It is called gastric membrane. Food can be thoroughly ground in the stomach. As a very expensive seafood, the pickled mustard greens are indeed very delicious. It's much more tender than a blue crab. It can be seen. His chicken is easy to separate into thin strands, like a swallow. I only found out later. When he grew, he resembled a pine needle. That's why it's called pine swallow crab. Wild boars can't eat shikong. Snow crab is also known as queen crab. So she must have a husband, a king crab. The king crabs we commonly see usually have two. A kind of dark red color. Heart region of the carapace. Having 6 noticeably bald spots. It is called Kamchatka mudstone. The reddish-brown color has a slight blue tint. What about the cardiac region of the thoracic carapace? The one with only 4 oil rabbits is called flatfoot mudstone chips, because there is not much difference in taste and appearance. So there isn't a big difference in price. We sell them all together over there. These two are called king crabs, but it actually belongs to the genus Lithops. And the one we bought, but the bright yellow cheetah shell, the legitimate royal family of the Lithops. It's called managing king crabs. The answer is here. Theoretically speaking, the spines of king crab must be very long. Why is this one so short? Is it a fake? Later, I finished learning how to make jam. Discover the second section of your industrial data armor. This 5-segment structure. The actual business is structured in 3 stages. Let's look at the second section of the abdominal armor I bought. It is indeed a 3-part structure. It is evident that it is at least a species of the genus Lithocarpus. Let's look at the 4 spikes in the new area. It seems this is indeed a Chilean king crab with a distinctive appearance. Although the rock crab shell, where the king crab resides, is called a crab. Our traditional knitted crab. They can only be considered distant relatives. On the contrary, he and hermit crabs, Yaezi County and others, classified under the Heterotail project. We can look at his belly. It is an asymmetrical design. This is similar to the belly of a hermit crab, although she is a breastfeeding mother. But king crabs include the calcified family. But you can only see 8 legs. This is because his 5th pair of thugs had degenerated, sitting tightly inside the shell. But the king crabs here are not like that. After breaking it open, I noticed that he had 2 abdominal limbs. Are these 2 abdominal limbs his reproductive organs? Or is it the degenerated 5th pair of thoracic pleural plexuses? I guessed his abdomen. It was discovered that the abdominal limbs had already connected to the chest. Quality display. The laboratory mice degenerated. The 8th physical examination caused the 5th pair of thoracic toxins to lose their foundation. It turned into a greasy state. Since these 2 ghosts are not genitals, why is his abdomen completely bare? How exactly does he transmit sperm, whether domestically or internationally? This point was not mentioned. We made an unexpected discovery while eating king crab. The tiny 5th pair of intelligent king crabs at the top of the Hungarian tribe. There was actually a very tiny claw. What about the intelligent king crab? It is highly likely that the Xiongnu were used as a transitional ethnic group. Hold the fine armor in your hand. Insert it into the female's body to complete mating. I originally thought being a customer was just a matter of being a middleman. I never expected to make a new discovery today. Writing this, I finally feel this heavy burden. Because too many unexpected things happen this time. I thought that as long as I just soak the comb in water for a day. He died the next morning. The entire water tank turned into a pot of white soup. Dissolve the water, and then add fresh water. As a result, the transparency of the fresh water was very poor. When the water is clear, the freshness is gone. Due to long-distance transportation and special environment, even while alive, it's also difficult to see them make any moves. There used to be a large supermarket nearby. There have always been deep-sea swimming crabs. But starting from this video, the blue crabs from the ocean were never replaced with new ones. Half dead, it's impossible to dismantle. There are also a few less common crabs. I borrowed it today, but it's gone tomorrow. Filming seafood in mainland China is just too difficult. So, I plan to borrow after the overdue period. Go to the beach to take pictures for everyone. As for the middle period, please rest assured everyone, my camera will never stop.